Hi and welcome to Game Creation. And so in today's video, what we're going to do is we're going to have some music for when we're on the map. So let's get started. Okay, so I've opened up the Clickteam file we've been using since the very start. And what I want to do is just go into the map one. And what you notice at the moment is that we don't have any music at all. All very, very boring. But I want to add some music to it. So let's go to, click the wrong one. Let's go to the event editor. And we want to say, right at the very start. Now, I don't know whether I've got an init box, which I don't think I do. Let's insert a new group. Let's call this init. Now, an init kind of group is what you want to happen at the start of your frame, and it's just really useful to know where to go for all the things that happen at the start. There are other things you can see here that happen at the start, and really these should all be in the init in a normal game. Okay, so I want to, at the start of the frame, I want to play some music. So let's go to music, play music. You would think. But no, Clickteam, as you, I'm sure you're aware, came from was it Games Factory, and then Click and Play right at the very start, I believe. That was definitely the first one I got. And back in those days, music files were all MIDI. Now MIDI is an amazing format. It's the one that all the old consoles back in the day used to use. But it is incredibly limited. For instance, no musician that I know of has ever released their music on MIDI. It doesn't have any audio tracks. It doesn't. All it does is it's like to create a MIDI, you create the kind of sound you want the piano to play, and then MIDI will just be the piano following those instructions. It doesn't save like the waveforms. The thing that does save the waveforms is WAV, and those are all samples. So unless I'm going really retro and want some music like bow 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 or something like that, I'd stick with samples. I think that samples, I'm totally going to be wrong here, but I mainly use them for WAV files. I don't think you can play MP3s with them, so you might need to convert your music to WAV, which you can do with any editing software that's out there. Right, so just a brief summary of this. Like this week, I'll go through all of this, but let's just play sample. Let's get our hands dirty. So you can actually load music from a different application that you've got. Which is handy if you're doing multiple applications with the same music or same samples. And I'm going to use it from a file. Now, you can do it from an expression, which you'd think would be a good idea, but this is the first lesson in samples I'm going to share with you, which some of you might already know. If you do it from an expression, now what that means is that you type in the file name and you do all the stuff that we've been doing in this project, where you create a file name, and then you'd think, oh, but then you could do it from binary and all that stuff. True, you could do all of that, but if you load it through here, so from file browse, and we've got map music there, if you do it like that, Clickteam will automatically load that in when you export the game, and will load it in as binary data for you, so you don't need to lift a finger. Clickteam will do all of the heavy lifting for you. So I very, very rarely do it from expression. I mean, there are some instances where I've got maybe hundreds of music tracks, and then I create an expression to figure out which one to use. But I normally find a different way of doing it because it's so convenient for Clickteam to do all of the heavy lifting. Okay, so now I need to enable desktop audio, which I hope is not too loud, because... and I think you'll hear it from the microphone as well. Oh, wow. Look at that. Wicked. Oh, it stopped, which I'm sure you were aware was going to happen. So what we've done there is we've just played the sample once, but the sample is a nice loop, so it'll keep looping through. You don't want music that stops. So I'm just going to get rid of that, and I'm going to show you this play and loop sample. This is the one we want. So play and loop sample from a file, just import it again. Now, repeat count, you might think, oh hang on, I want it loads, so I put, I don't know, what's the maximum? 100,000, I put 100,000 down. I have no idea whether that's 100,000. That looks about 100,000, right. You could do that. I mean, the chance of, well, it's 100,000 times 7 seconds, so whatever that is. But the player might be on the map for a very, very long time, and then the music will just stop. Clickteam, actually, I really like this. They always have 0, or mostly always have 0 as infinite. So if you want infinite in Clickteam, and there's a nice little prompt up here to remind you, you just put 0. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to play it 0 times, it just means it's going to play it infinitely, which is great, because we'll manage it later on. So if I run it now, oh, I came into a battle. If I just stay still. There we are, nicely. Now, the music I've got for this, I do have the royalties to, or the rights to. Just be careful that you don't get too attached to any music you use in development that you don't have the rights to, because that will be brutal when you have to find a different track because you want to release your game. But in your head, there is nothing better than the one you picked. I'm not saying that this track is the best ever, although it is growing on me. This was just one I had the rights to, so I went with it. But we haven't done this the right way, and we'll talk about that more tomorrow. Like we did last week, if you want to try and guess what might be wrong with the way we've done this, please leave your suggestions in the comments. You managed to guess right last week, but maybe this is more of a challenge. I don't know. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to see more from us, please click subscribe. We release videos every single weekday at 7 PM UK time. Thank you.